Hi, my name is Dr. Kamphoff, high performance coach, professor, and public speaker. And today we're talking about the second trait of high performers, which they know their why and they keep their purpose front and center. And high performers do this so that they can stay motivated during adversity and they can stay motivated despite any obstacles that they get in their way. And I want to tell you a story about actually how I found my why. And this happened about 4 years ago. It was late. It was night, kind of late at night, and I had put my two boys to bed. And I was sitting at our kitchen table and surfing the internet, and I found these exercises that help you figure out your why, help you figure out your purpose. And I started going through these exercises that night. And you know, at that time in my life, I wasn't very fulfilled. I'm a professor. And I was doing a lot of research, publishing, let's say, 8 or 9 articles every year in a journal, in top journals, but it wasn't really fulfilling me. And I would say that I wasn't quite satisfied, really wasn't fulfilled. And that night, I had this aha moment. And what I realized is that really part of my purpose is to really inspire others and to help others. And ever since that night, I started making decisions that were a little different. And what I said no to and yes to was different. I have since then, I wrote a grant to start a center called the Center for Sport and Performance Psychology. I would have never done that if it wasn't that night. And I've done other things like, started writing in the newspaper, and I wouldn't be delivering this message to you if it wasn't that night. And so things started changing for me when I found my why. It all started changing. And since that time, 4 years ago, I've been, several times a year, I sit down and I really think about what's my why. I answer several questions and look for commonalities. And in December, I was able to better articulate my why, my purpose of my life, which is really to be authentic, to play passionately and live passionately in the now, and to play big for myself and others so I can inspire others. And so over the last 4 years, my why, my purpose has evolved. And as we talk about what's your why, I wanted to reflect on a few questions. So have you ever felt stuck in your life or, maybe in your job? Have you ever woke up in the morning and not even sure what you're going to do and not sure, what's really going to motivate you that day? Have you ever been going after a goal that you weren't even really sure kind of what you were doing? And if you said yes to any of these questions, I think that knowing your purpose and knowing your why could really help you fuel your soul so that you can really live the life of your full potential. That's really what high performance is, that you are reaching your potential. And guess what? Only 20% of teams and individuals reach your full potential. And that's what I want for you, is that you reach your full potential. So the 4 questions that I would encourage you to answer this week are this. And the 4 questions will allow you to see some commonality between your answers so you can really think about your purpose and what's your why. And these 4 questions that will help you figure out your why and help you articulate your purpose are this. First, what gives you energy? What fuels you? Number 2, what would you do for free? If you weren't paid for, but what would you do regardless if you were paid for? Number 3, I guess. What are 3 or 4 times in your life where you have felt the most alive? And what were you doing? And then the last question, which is my favorite, which really fuels me, is what is your legacy? What do you want your legacy to be? What do you want to be remembered for? And when you consider the answers of these 4 questions, it can help you figure out your why. So what if this week you spent some time answering these questions, and then you looked for the commonalities, the responses, and maybe, this is your start of understanding your why and understanding your purpose. What if this week you did this? And what if then after that, you put a little card by your mirror or in your bedroom or in your car that reminded you what your why was, and you thought about that every day? Let's say you thought about it every day for the next 21 days, which is how long it takes to make a habit. I I think if you did that, you would be able to tell a difference. And this why is the difference that makes all the difference. This is the difference between, getting 4th place at the Olympic Games versus winning the gold medal. This is the difference between staying stuck in a job that you don't really know why you're there, or going for a different one or a promotion that you really want. This is the difference between living a life of just, being okay, to living a life of full potential where you are doing what gives you purpose and you're on purpose. So thank you so much for joining me this week. I really appreciate it. And if you want to learn more, I'm going to have a course launched in August called High Performance University. And I'll give you even more tools and strategies to figure out your why and your purpose. But for now, answer these 4 questions this week and make it an outstanding week. Be mentally strong, and make sure that you follow my blog at cinderkamphoff.com. Have an awesome week.